Hello, welcome to the third block of 10 days. And what this basically means is that we're halfway there. So it doesn't matter where you're at in the practice. If you started a little bit later and you've arrived here after everybody else, that's okay. This week it's time to step it up a little notch. So obviously the first 2 weeks you get an introduction to both Apana and Samana Vayu, and you get to start to understand how these values work for you, and a little bit of quite of a chilled approach where you've been able to decide whether you do the 10-minute or the 30-minute or the 60-minute, and like everything, we want to keep growing and progressing, right? So this week is a little bit different, and here's what I would suggest that you do. If it was up to me, I would suggest, well, I personally would do the 45-minute practice that runs through asana, pranayama, and meditation. And I would complete that practice every single day for the next 10 days, straight through, 45 minutes. I would also then use the other practice that I've put in there, that is the other asana practice that is not samana and not apana. It's just a regular asana practice at night time. And I would add on an apana or a samana meditation. So you can use the one that I've put in the third week, or you can go back to any of the previous weeks. And what that asana practice does is it just is actually designed to get the body open enough so that when you sit in meditation, your connection is deeper. Remember how we spoke, and I always talk about it, it's about, like, if you want to dig a well and you want a really, really deep well and the water's really, really deep, you won't get that by digging 8 really shallow holes. And there's a time and a place for the shallowness, like obviously when we're just kind of sussing it out, which we have been in the first 2 weeks. We've been familiarising ourselves with the language. We've been understanding what we can fit in where. And, that's great. But sometimes as humans, we will sneakily take the easier, softer way. And that's just human nature, and the reason why we're doing this is we want to become more whole humans, not better, just more evolved. And so what that means is now making the choice to make that deeper commitment in a time sense, and in a sense of going deeper down into the well of this work. So when you hear this, be really aware of what reasons for not doing it present, because there will always be something. And sit with that, go back through the spreadsheets, look at what comes up for you when fear arises and the justifications and the way that your mind works. You've got a little bit more insight into that now, and use it in order to take contrary action to what you actually would normally do in this situation. For example, if you're someone that always chooses the easier option, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, like then this might be the week for you where you really up your game, where you go, do you know what, I'm going to commit for 10 days to doing the 45 minutes in the morning, and then I'm going to do the asana prep and a sit again in the evening because I want that for myself. And for those of you guys that tend to do all of the things, it might be that you really narrow it down into one specific practice that you commit an entire 10 days to. So really what I'm saying is, there's the suggestions, but at this point in the sadhana, you are really starting to understand how your internal world works. And so ultimately, you are the person that gets to make the choice on where you go next, and like only you know that. Like I can give you all the suggestions in the world that work for me, but I'm not in your body, and I've not had your life experiences. I don't have your lifestyle. I don't know how. I haven't, like it's really, really personal this week particularly. So use it in a way that's really empowering, that gives you autonomy over the type of practice that is going to be the most beneficial for you. Not always what you love doing, but the thing that you can honestly say that is going to give you the most amount of growth, because moving into week or the block 4, the final block, this will be a very good setup for you to do that first. So I'm here as always. The practices are ready to go for you, and I'm going to be with you this week. I'll be doing the 45 minutes every day, and that's just a little extra thing to know that I'm there in the background, sending you all my love.